ஸ்ட்ரீம் போயிட்டு இருக்கா ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிடுச்சு.
அப்ப என்ன பண்ணணும்?
மொபைல செக் பண்ணு. ஸ்ட்ரீம் பண்றது பாஸ் பண்ண முடியுமா?
என்னது?
ஜீரோ கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம்.
ஸ்ட்ரீம் வந்து
லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் போன்ல வீடியோ கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாம். கூகுள் மீட் கனெக்ட் பண்ணலாமா?
கூகுள் மீட் கூகுள் மீட் கனெக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. கூகுள் மீட் கனெக்ட் பண்ணி
இதுல போட்டுட்டு அதுல இருந்து வீடியோ மட்டும்.
ஓ சரி.
லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் நீ ஜிப்சில இருந்து எடுத்துக்கோ.
ஆமா நான் தான் கிரியேட் பண்ணணும்ல.
நான் கிரியேட் பண்றேன்.
பண்ணுங்க எனக்கு வாட்ஸ்அப்ல ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. இல்லனா என்ன கோட் நான் ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க. கிரியேட் பண்ணி இது நெட்வொர்க் இது என்ன ஏர்ப்ளேன் மோட் ஆஃப் பண்ணனும். ஏர்ப்ளேன் மோட்
என்ன வருது? ஜிப்சில
டவர்
இல்ல ஜிப்சில வந்து பிரசன்டேஷன் நாங்க ஜிப்சில கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டீங்களா? அத மானிட்டர்ல போட்டுறவா? நீ ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ற.
எனக்கு ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிருக்கேன்.
நியூ மீட்டிங் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணு. அதெல்லாம் ஆஃப் பண்ணு. இது எல்லாமே இப்போ லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம்ல போயிட்டு இருக்கோம். நம்ம பேசுறது நம்ம இது பண்றது எல்லாமே
வீடியோ
நீதான் அலோவ் பண்ணு.
கேமரா காமிங்க. ஒன் செகண்ட் இப்போ இந்த டானி ஃபங்க்ஷன் ஏ அது ஜிப்சிக்கு போயிடுச்சு. அது ஜிப்சின்னு ஒன்று இருக்கு. ஸ்ட்ரீமிங்க்கு மட்டும் தான் கூகுள் மீட். ஆமா
இந்த மீட்டோட இதை எடுத்து ஜிப்சி ஓபிஎஸ்
எப்படி ப்ரோ இது?
சீன் இல்லடா, சீன் இல்லை, கேன்சல் பண்ணு. சோர்ஸ் ஜிப்சி மீட் கனெக்ட் பண்ணல அந்த மாதிரி ப்ரௌசர் கூகுள் மீட் கண்ட்ரோல் ஆடியோ அவ்வளோ போதும். என்ன இப்படி வருது? ஆஹா இல்லை ப்ரோ கேன்சல் பண்ண ஆட் பண்ண. இப்போ எங்க இருந்து வருது? ப்ரௌசர்ல இருந்து வருது. ப்ரௌசர் ஓகே கொடு. எதுன்னு கேட்குமா? சரி ஓகே ஒரே நிமிஷம். ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாமா? ஜீரோ ஒரே நிமிஷம். எங்க போயிட்டு இருக்க டிரான்சிஷன் கட் பண்ண உடனே.
ஆமா டிரான்சிஷன் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. என்ன பண்ணணும் இப்போ?
இதை கட் பண்ண. இல்லை 2 ஸ்க்ரீனியா வருது.
அதுதான் நம்ம தனியாக ஒரு சோர்ஸ் பண்ணோம். என்ன போட்டோம்? ப்ரௌசரா? இதானே?
ஆனா அது மீட் போனா மீட்டிங் தானே வருது.
இல்ல அவன் ப்ரௌசர் போல நம்ம விண்டோ கேப்சர் ஏதாவது சம்திங் போட்டோம்.
பாரு இங்க மீட் தான் வருது, கூகுள் மீட் தான் வருது. இது லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆகுது.
ஆமா லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு. இல்ல லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆகுதா?
ஆமாடா. ஆமாடா பாரு. கூகுள் மீட் அப்படியே லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கு.
சரி அவர் அப்படியே பேசட்டும். அவர் தான் தெரியுது ப்ரோ. அப்ப
கூகுள் மீட் ஏன்டா தெரியணும்? இதெல்லாம் ஏன்டா தெரியுதா? வீடியோ வருது ப்ரோ. அதை கட் பண்ணி எடுக்கணும். ஜிப்சி இருக்கிற கால் நாங்க ஜாயின் பண்ணி ஸ்கிரீன் ஷாட் பண்ணாதான் அங்க வரும். அது எனக்கு ப்ரோ இது எல்லாமே ஒரே அங்க வைக்கிறதுனால மட்டும் இது எல்லாமே இதை ஸ்டாப் பண்றா. போயிட்டு இருக்காது. உனக்கு புரியுதா? அவன் பேசுறது ஒரு சைடா தெரியணும். அவன் ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ற ஒருத்தர் 2 இது வரணும். 2 கேப்சர் நீங்க போடணும்.
ஒன்னு இருக்கு. இன்னொன்னு
இதுக்கு மேல ஓவர்லேயா நீ போடணும்
வீடியோ.
சரி இப்போ எனக்கு ஜிப்சி மீட்டிங் வைக்க மாட்டாங்க சொன்னீங்க. ஜிப்சி மீட்டானு சொன்னீங்க. யார் வாட்ஸ்அப் அனுப்பிச்சு
இது மீட்டிங்கா? என்ன பண்ணுங்க, ஜிட்சி இன்னொன்னு கிரியேட் பண்ண முடியுமா?
ஏன் ஜிட்சி
கிரியேட் பண்ணி அதுல இருந்து வீடியோ ஸ்ட்ரீம் பண்ணிட்டோம்.
அதுதான் நம்ம யூடியூப் வச்சிருக்கோமே. சரி அது கூகுள் மீட் வச்சிருக்கோமே.
கூகுள் மீட்ல பாஸ்வேர்ட் கேக்குது எல்லாமே.
அத எப்படி எடுக்கணும்?
நம்ம ஜிட்சி போட்டு ஜிட்சில இருந்து லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் பண்ணலாம். வீடியோ கேப்சர் பண்ணா இங்க இருந்து வந்துரும் ப்ரோ. நான் சொல்றது புரியுதா? ஈஸியா ஜிட்சில இருந்து வீடியோ. ஜிட்சி என்னது? வீடியோ கூகுள் மீட் மாதிரி தானே. பேக் கேமரா இருக்குல்ல, அதை எனேபிள் பண்ணி அங்க வைக்க சொல்லுங்க. இன்னொன்னு கேப்சர் பண்ணி இங்க கொண்டு வந்துடலாம் ப்ரோ. ஈஸி, வேலை முடிஞ்சிடுச்சு. 2 ஜிட்சி, இன்னொரு ஜிட்சி இங்க ஆட் பண்ணிட்டு, ஒரு ஜிட்சி மெயின், இன்னொரு ஜிட்சி வந்து வீடியோ, அவரோட வீடியோ. புரியுதுங்களா? ஜிட்சி இன்னொன்னு இருங்க, நான் ஜிட்சி இன்னொன்னு கிரியேட் பண்ணி தரேன்.
இதே ஜிப்சில இருந்து 2 எடுக்க முடியாதா?
அப்படிலாம் எடுக்க முடியாது.
அதனால தான் நான் கூகுள் மீட் சொன்னேன். ஒரு ஜிப்சி ஒரு கூகுள் மீட். இப்போ கூகுள் மீட்டாலே எடுக்க முடியாது. செக்இன் பண்ணிடுவாங்கல்ல, ஸோ அந்த கவுண்டர் 70 செக்இன்.
அனதர் ஜிட்சி கிரியேட் பண்ணுமா?
இப்போ எனக்கு என்ன புரியலன்னா, ஜிட்சியும் கூகுள் மீட்டும் ஒன்று தானே? இப்போ
ஜிட்சியும் கூகுள் மீட் வேறு. எனக்கு கூகுள் மீட்டை கேன்சல் பண்ணோம். 1 செகண்ட் இருங்க.
ஸ்டார்ட் ஆயிட்டா?
வீடியோ லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம்.
சரி, இப்போ இது ஒன்றால் எடுக்க முடிஞ்சா ஓகே. லாகின் பண்ணுறோம். லாகின் பண்ணணும். வீடியோ லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் தானே, நான் போய் அங்கே போடுறேன் அவருக்கு.
இந்த லிங்க்ல கனெக்ட் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
நான் பண்ணுறேன். நீ இது முதல்ல அங்கே வருதான்னு பாரு. 2த்தையும் நாள் போட முடியுமான்னு பாரு.
பண்ணலாம். இப்போ என்ன பண்ணுறேன்? கொண்டுட்டேனா? இப்போ இது எப்படி லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறது?
இது அங்கே போய் அந்த ப்ரௌசர் போ. ப்ரௌசர் டேப் இங்கே போ. ஓகே, இப்போ இங்கே வா. ஓபிஎஸ் வா. சரி, இப்போ இதை வந்து கிராப் பண்ணு.
இது கிராப் பண்ணி இப்போ இது எப்படி என்ன
ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லு பாரு.
அதான் எப்படி ஜாயின் பண்ணுறது? இது
இங்கே வா. இதுதானே ஆகுது.
யாராவது ஜாயின் பண்ணுமா? இப்போ வந்து இதை வந்து இவரை ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
இங்கே வரலையே முதல்ல. இங்கே தெரியுதா? இங்கே வரலையே.
என்ன கேக்குது?
வாட்ஸ்அப்ல எல்லாம் ஷேர் ஆயிட்டு இருக்கா லைவ்ல? டேய் இங்க பாரு தெரியுதானே தெரியுது. ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லுது.
எப்படி ஜாயின் பண்ண? அப்ப இது எப்படி ஜாயின் பண்ணணும்?
அதான் கேக்குறேன். ஜி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடு.
அவங்க மட்டும் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க. அக்கா நீங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்கக்கா. ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
இது ஏன்டா அப்படி வருது? புரியுதா உனக்கு?
ம்.
இது வந்துருச்சு. இதுலயே வரல. ஒருவேளை ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ண சொல்லுடா. அதான் பிரச்சனை. புரியுதா? நீ ப்ரௌசர்ல போட்டா அந்த தலைவலி இருக்கு. டிஸ்ப்ளே கேப்சர்
ப்ரௌசர் வேணாம். வீடியோ கேப்சர் டிவைஸ், விண்டோ கேப்சர் டிவைஸ். அப்ப தனி விண்டோவா அதை எடுத்துட்டு வரணும். சரி போடுங்க.
நோட்டீஸ் எங்க இருக்கு?
ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல இருந்து வாங்க. விண்டோ கேப்சர்.
வந்துட்டானா? இப்போ அவர் பண்ணார்னா வந்துரும் கரெக்டா?
ஜிட்சியோட லிங்க் மட்டும் அவருக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
இப்போ இந்த ப்ரௌசர் டெலீட் பண்ணிடலாம்.
டெலீட் பண்ணுங்க.
இப்போ ஜிட்சி மட்டும் அவருக்கு ஷேர் பண்ணிட்டு நீ இது ஒரு ஓரமா வெர்டிகல்ல போடணும். அது எப்படி கிராப் பண்ணி பண்றது மட்டும் பாரு.
சரி வெர்டிகலாவா? சரி அதை ஜாயின் பண்ண சொல்லுங்க.
So I am very Priya, senior software engineer at Talentship. So I am one of the coordinator of JSLovers Chennai Meetup. And any idea like about
யாருக்கு ஷேர் பண்ண? வீடியோ லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம்.
What's the number of events like JSLovers events? No. Okay, yeah, this is the 9th event for the JSLovers community challenge. So having started 1 year ago, so we have a big flagship event at 4, and we are happy to have a 9th event here at Himalayas. And yeah, so
அங்கேயும் ஷேர் ஆகணும். ஷேர் ஆகும். நீங்க HDMI கனெக்ட் பண்ணனும். நான் காட்றேன்.
ஓகே. இப்போ அதான் இந்த ஜிட்சி தான காட்டணும். ஓகே தானே?
ஆமா ஜிட்சி தான்.
All right. Hope you're all feel comfortable. Right, if there is anything that you require, you have the coffee and the right. Just feel comfortable. And the further introduction, my name is Vikas. I am the India HR head at Pure Alliance. And because I have been cognizant, I have over 20 years of experience in the field of HR. And yeah, this is my second IT organization, 9 years that I'm here. As far as this day is concerned, it's not just about tech talks. I see more lovely individuals who are developers and engineers who gather here. And on a Saturday afternoon, and this is what makes it even more special, right, for us to host this event. What I would like to understand this crowd, from this crowd is, how many of you are students here? Any students? Okay. Alright, from final year? Alright. How many are part of any startups right now?
ஓகேவா?
Any startups?
OBSல வருது. திருப்பி வச்சுக்கலாம்.
How many are from big IT services?
ஜிபி வந்து இந்த ஸ்கிரீனை ஷேர் பண்ண சொல்லுவாங்களா? இந்த மீட்ல.
யா. இப்போ இத வந்து ஷேர் பண்ண சொல்லணும்.
அவர் வந்து நம்ம ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணனும் அந்த பிரசன்டேஷனை. அங்க ஓடிட்டு
இருங்க. இதானே? எது?
கேன்சல் பண்ண. அவர் இப்ப ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேர் பண்ணாங்கன்னா இங்க வந்துரும்.
வருமா?
ஆமா.
ஓகே பண்ண சொல்லுங்க. பாருங்க. தருவோம் இருக்கு 300 இருக்கு. என்ன ப்ரோ வேண்டாம் வேலை இருக்கு.
Very much is start off with, right? Pyramids as an organization, we are about 8 years old, and we have a global presence in 3 locations, namely India, Cayman Islands, and the US. We're a headcount of about 500. Half of it is in India, and Chennai is the only place where we have an office running. Here it is, but otherwise it's all remote and flexible work model that we have, right? We are AI-driven organization. Become the AI native organization, and we would certainly like to consider ourselves as the one-person engineers club. That is what our north is, right? And that is where we are driving to.
அது நம்ம
Slide this down is fine, right?
அவர் பேச நம்ம சிங்க் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
Yeah, so that is where we are. It's our leaders. Right, allow me to introduce the speakers of this event from our end. Yeah. I'll introduce. Thanks for joining so early in the day. 2 o'clock is not easy for most of us here. So I took the bit of a bald head, as I was most of you. And I know how hard it is to go on Saturday. Most of you have not had lunch, and unfortunately, we don't have a cafeteria operating like you. Thanks for being here as a leader. Now we started to do some highlights and what is AI? I know you will show hands, I think that so I will surprise you sometimes.
இல்ல ஓபிஎஸ்ல போட்டுருக்கான். இங்கேயும் பிளாக்கா வருது. பின் பண்ணிருக்கியோ? என்னதானே பின் பண்ணிருக்க? இல்லடா இப்பதான்டா வருது.
நீங்க ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீனா போடுங்க. 3 டாட் வச்சு ஃபுல் ஸ்க்ரீன் போட்டீங்கன்னா வந்துரும்.
But generally, April is the day of doing any project with AI first phase, right? So you actually start with an AI phase 2, and then you think of rolling out to production. Okay, that is one way of AI. And the second is
இங்கெல்லாம் எப்படி காட்டுதுடா?
native capabilities, right? Like summarization, elaborating.
அதான் ஏன் பிளர்ரா வருது? அப்படிதான் காட்டுமா? பிளர்ரா காட்டுதுல்ல, ஏன் பிரச்சனை? அதான் தெரியல, இங்கே பிளர்ரா வருது.
இந்த பிளேன்லேயே அது வரும். மாறினா போகுது. இது வந்து ஃபோக்கஸ் போயிடுச்சுன்னா அது ஆகுது. மைக் இங்கே இருக்கு. பேசுறது இங்கே வந்துடா.
ஆடியோ ஸ்ட்ரீம் எடுக்கல. அவங்க பேசுறது கேட்கவே இல்லை.
ஆமாம், இப்போ நீ பேசுனது ஏன் பிளர் ஆகும் சொல்கிறது வந்துச்சு.
பிளர்ரா வருது, ஆடியோ வரல.
கிளிக் பண்ணி
அங்க ஜேபி தான் வச்சிருக்காரு. அங்க ஜேபி தான் வச்சிருக்காரு. அவர் தான் இது ஏன்டா வரல?
அடுத்த மாதம்
இதுதான் கடையில இருக்கு.
ப்ரோ அங்க மாறுது ப்ரோ. பின்னாடி 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 மாறுது.
அதுல மாறுது, இது மாறலையே. இதுலயே பிளர்ரா வருது.
ஃபில்டர் ஏதாவது போட்டீங்களா?
ஃபில்டர் அதை போட்டுக்கலாம்.
மல்டிபிள் டைம் ஓபன் பண்ணனால எதை ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்றது தெரியாம ஆகும். அதோட சான்சஸ் இருக்கு.
அப்படி இல்ல, நம்ம இங்க வச்சிருக்கோம்ல.
இந்த வருது. இது பண்ணா அது வருது, அது பண்ணா இது வருது.
இது லாக் பண்ண இப்படி லாக் பண்ணாதானே பொசிஷன் லாக் அது. அவன் ஏதோ மீட்டிங் போயிட்டானா. அதான் நம்ம அங்க போனா வருது, இங்க போனனால இங்க வருது. இதுவே நான் இங்க போயிட்டு வந்தேன்னா சின்கா இல்ல, இன்னைக்கு ஒரு நேரத்துல ஒரே ஒரு இதா எடுக்க முடியுமான்னு தெரியல. உதய ஃபோன் பண்ண படத்துல இருக்கா. அதான் நம்ம பண்ணாதனால எதுவும் தெரிய மாட்டேங்குது. விண்டோ கேப்சர் வந்து கூகுள் மீட் வந்து இருக்குது, ஓகே. ஏன் இங்கே வருது மீட்டு லைவ்ல தெரியுது, ஓகே. ஆனால் ஏன் வர மாட்டேங்குது? இங்கே வந்தாலும் இங்கே வரும், இங்கேயே வர மாட்டேங்குது ஹெச்சி மீட்டு.
Yeah, we are a services organization with product mindset. Okay, that is how we are looking at ourselves. Okay, so we are a services organization, but with product mindset. Yeah, I mean, when you say product mindset, what exactly mean by product mindset? Services mindset is like go one level back to the fear I had in gaming, right? So most of you, including me, when I was before joining this company, right, I was wondering what is this fear I had? It's very strange naming, right? So what is fear I had?
பிரசன்டேஷன் காட்டிட்டு இருக்காங்க, டிஸ்டர்ப் பண்ண முடியாது.
Layering approach.
அதான் பிரச்சனை. சரி, இதை வந்து இது பண்ணு, வெர்டிகலா கொண்டு வா. கிராப் பண்ணி
அந்த இந்த டாட் சர்க்கிள் டிராக் பண்ணீங்கன்னா வெர்டிகலா மாறும்.
இல்ல, இது கரெக்டா தான் இருக்கு. கிராப் கிராப் எனக்கு இது மட்டும் வரணும்.
This one key differentiation which we see in like a product organization. Secondly, when we say product mindset, we are not delivering what is given to us, right? We go and advocate our customers. Say that what you want, but right? So how
எப்படி ஆல்ட் நார்மலா
ஃபோக்கஸ் ஆகல.
product ready, it's like the production grade output from every single individual.
ஃபோக்கஸ் ஆகல.
Has to be a full stack.
அது அது அதோட ப்ராப்ளம்.
அங்க அவர் பிரசன்ட் பண்ணா இங்க வரும்.
அவர் மொபைல்ல பிரசன்ட் பண்ணா இங்க வரும். லேப்ல
அதான் நான் இது பார்த்தேன், இங்க போனா மாறி.
So these are certain ingredients of this product mindset in the services industry. The way we are defining ourselves.
இப்ப போயிட்டு வந்தோன்னா வந்துருது.
இங்க லாக் பண்ணு, இது மட்டும் லாக் பண்ணு. லாக் பண்ணு.
லாக்னா இந்த இடத்துல லாக் ஆயிடுது. ஏய், லைவ் ஸ்ட்ரீம் பாரு, எப்படி போகுது ட்ரான்சிஷன் பண்ணு. ஓகேவா, இப்போ மாறிடுச்சு.
So how do you see the service industry?
ஆடியோ என்ன வருதுன்னு பாருங்க.
This is an opportunity for sure. Okay, large organization will have a lot of difficulties. Okay,
நம்ம பேசுறது நல்லா கேட்குது.
they have
ஆடியோ
to cut their own, what is it, flesh, right? So they are making like honey from one customer by having 1,000 people for a particular customer. With AI, probably they have to scale it down to 100 people or 200 people, right? So we do not require 1,000 people to get to the same amount of work, okay? Unless you increase the throughput, unless you increase the need for requirement, you do not need that 1,000 people. So large organizations have to
இல்ல
jeopardize their
இப்போதைக்கு என்ன
own
பண்ணலாம்
revenue
அவர் மட்டும்
in
பெருசா
order to
காட்டிடலாம்
meet
லைவ்
this
ஸ்ட்ரீம்ல
demand, right? So there will be definitely an impact to large organizations because they will want
இதானே
to scale that.
இது இல்லையா
Smaller
இது ஜிப்ஸி
organizations who doesn't
இதானே
have any
ஜிப்ஸி எத்தனை ஜிப்ஸியா
அது வீடியோ
right? So it means, for example, not because I was here right now to say this, but one company,
ஆ
you can get a
இல்ல
large
ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் போடுறேன்
organization where
நீங்க
some
ஷேர்
service
பண்ணாலும்
provider is having 10,000 people. Okay,
எதனா ஷேர் பண்ணும்
மற்றபடி ஆடியோ வரணும்
எதை ஷேர் பண்ணும் இதை ஷேர் பண்ணுமா இதை ஷேர் பண்ணும்
இப்போ நீங்கள் பேசுறீங்களா அவங்களுக்கு வந்து நீங்கள் பேசுறீங்களாட்டா இன்ட்ரடக்ஷனு ப்ரெசன்டேஷனு
இதை ஷேர் பண்ணும்
இதை இதை பேசுங்க நீங்கள் பேசுங்க கரெக்டாக அந்த பேசிங் ப்ரெசன்டேஷன் லாஸ்ட்டு சொல்லிட்டீங்களா அப்போ இப்போ டேட்டா லாக் ஆகும் டேட்டா லாக் சரி ஃப்ரீ ஆகிடுச்சு இல்லை இப்போ டேனி தான் ப்ரெசென்ட் பண்ணுறேன்
அதை எப்படி கொண்டு வருவாங்க லேப்டாப்ல
அவன் ஷேர் பண்ணுவான் ஸ்க்ரீனை
அதான் அது ஜெர்சியில் வந்துருமா இங்கே வந்துருமா
ஜிப்ஸியில் இங்கே வந்து இங்கே ப்ரெசென்ட் ஆகும் எடுக்கணும்
இப்போ யாருமே ஷேர் பண்ணலையா
இப்போ யாரும் பண்ணலை
அதான் பிரச்சனை ஷேர் பண்ணால் வந்துடும் அது வந்துடும் நான் ஷேர் பண்ணா பாரு இந்த மாதிரி எனக்கு நான் ஷேர் பண்ணால் வந்துடும்
இது பாரு இது பிளாக் ஆகிடுச்சு
எது பிளர் ஆயிடுச்சு ஆமாம் அதையும் பிளர் ஆச்சு
நம்ம அங்கே போய் இப்போ இங்கே வாங்க வந்துருச்சு இப்போ பேக் வாங்க
அநியாயம் பண்ணுறா
இப்படி தான் பண்ணுறது
So, you said you are creating some product mindset. So, what kind of product mindset is it? How does the step-by-step procedure that you do that?
போயிட்டு வரணும் அவ்வளோதான் அப்போ இது போனால் அது போயிடுது
அது போயிடும் இது போயிடுது
அதெல்லாம் எனக்கு தெரியலாம் அது எப்படி தலைவன்னு பார்த்து
கடுப்பாக இருக்கு நம்ம பேசுகிற ஆடியோலாம் ஷேர் ஆகிட்டு இருக்கு அதான் காட்டுது
நம்ம
இங்கே பேச ஷேர் ஆகுது ஆ மைக் கனெக்ட் ஆகிருக்கு கான்ஃபிகர் பண்ணியுமே ஆ யா சரி ஓகே ரைட்டு வந்ததுக்கு நன்றி ஷோர் தான் பாய் பார்க்கலாம் ரெஸ்யூம் மிஸ் பண்ணுறேன் ரெஸ்யூம் மிக்ஸ்னு ஆ ஓ ஓகே ஓகே ஏதோ அடுத்த கட்டத்துக்கு பண்ண போகிறாதா அவன் அடுத்த கட்டத்துக்கு ஏதோ பண்ண போகிறா அது ஓகே பார்க்கலாம் பாய்ரா
So we will get to the top. We are available offline.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sumit and Prakash, for sharing the details about your events and being an amazing venue sponsor as well. So you can see the team being available here. You can network with them during the break time or even after the event. Thank you. So with this, we will start with the first sector. The first sector is going to be given by Rani Akash. So he is an audio engineer at JSLovers. Also the co-founder of this application design. So the stage is yours, Rani. Let's begin with a big round of applause.
ஓகே தானே, எல்லாம் அவைலபிளாக இருக்குது, பவர்லாம் இருக்குது. ஓகே, கனெக்ட் இப்போ கனெக்ட் பண்ணால் வந்துடும். நம்ம செலக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு கனெக்ட் பண்ணால் கனெக்ட் ஆகிடும்.
கூகுள் மீட் மட்டும் அங்கேயே
அன்மியூட்டில்
இல்லை ப்ரோ.
கேன்சல் பண்ணுறது, கேன்சல் பண்ணுறது.
என்ன லைவ் மீட்டு புதுசா இருக்கு? ப்ரோ விக்கி ப்ரோ வர சொல்லுங்க ப்ரோ. இந்த வீடியோ என்ன பாருங்க.
அது அங்கே போயிட்டு வந்தோன்னா வருதுடா.
Okay, hi everybody. So, before I start, how many
சரி,
people
இது எங்கே
here
வரலையே?
know
சரியா
Chrome
வரல.
Delpho's protocol? Anyone heard about it before?
எக்ஸிபிலிட்டி ஏன்டா வர மாட்டேங்குது?
Or how many people here
ஏடா
use Chrome
இது
Delpho's
நல்ல
before?
வழியா இருக்கு ப்ரோ.
இது போனால் இது வர மாட்டேங்குது, இது போனால் இது வர மாட்டேங்குது.
Alright, there are so many people who are not raising your
அதான்டா
hands.
ரெண்டு வீடியோ
How
கேப்சர் பண்ண
like
முடியாது போல.
debug errors?
அட் டைம்ல பண்ண முடியாது போல. இந்த வீடியோ எல்லாமே ஷோ ஆகட்டும், பார்த்துக்கலாம் ப்ரோ.
Apparently, I think most of your backend developers, that's why you don't use Chrome Delphos.
ஒன்றுவா வருது ஒரு டைமில்.
A small intro about me before we go into the talk. This is a very beginner-friendly talk with like some easy to understand demos, I hope. So about me, I'm Danny Akash. I'm a software engineer, and I really like working with AI
ஆடியோவான
enthusiasts.
ஒழுங்கா வருங்க, ஆடியோ
So
விடுங்க.
my
நாம
goal is
பேசுறதாண்டா
building
கேட்குது.
tools that bridge gap between AI
நாம
agents
பேசுறதாண்டா
and
கேட்குது,
the
அவன்
real
பேசுறது
browser. So that's basically the product I'm working on.
வரலையே.
Also, I want to like build human-friendly AI products, like products that doesn't actually replace people, but actually tries to help people get their like work done. So with this is my first product. I'm a found engineer of this browser OS team. So this is an open source agentic browser. I will show you guys what this
ஆடியோ
agentic
என்ன
browser
ஆச்சு?
concept means. And next, Inaiu is actually an app that I
இங்கதான்
built
மாட்டியிருக்காங்களாடா.
We did a small closed launch in last Chennai Meetup event. So the idea behind Inaiu is when you come to events like such as this, it helps you connect with your best match in terms of career. For example, let's say you are someone who's trying to hire a JavaScript developer.
கண்ட்ரோல் பி
It will connect you with the JavaScript developer who's actually looking for a work. And you can personalize it much closer.
இருங்க இது
So
கனெக்ட்
it's
பண்ணணுமா?
completely AI driven. It will help you like find the right scale of events, even like huge conferences. Cool. So here is time for some fun questions. I can understand how well you are
ஓகே ப்ரோ, இங்க இருக்கிறவங்கள
working.
ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம்.
Who is currently using AI agents to code?
ப்ரோ இங்க இருக்கிறவங்க ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணுவோம்.
Wow. I don't think no one codes anymore. It's just your class subscription carrying all that. And who can only code with AI agents? No, I need to see something. So that's very honest. It's okay, guys. You can raise your hand if you think we have been using agents too much. And who thinks the agents are making your development harder? Now we are seeing some real show-off limits. Can you tell me why you think it's making your life harder?
Like working with AI agent is really helpful in getting the work very faster. But when it comes to debug, very hard to be debug the things actually. We are blindly accepting all the things. At some point, we started to trust the AI agent itself without knowing.
Okay, so what you're saying is you are starting to blindly accept everything. Okay. Others are blindly accepting and it's making your life harder.
லைவ் பார்க்குங்க வீடியோ ஃபோனில்
வரல ப்ரோ. பிரச்சனை இருக்கு. ஆடியோ வீடியோ பாருங்க, ஒரு வீடியோ தான்.
Let's hope the team doesn't hear about this. Anyone else want to add a valuable point why it's making your life harder? Yeah, there is one more person. Yeah, we'll ask one more person.
இங்க இருக்கு மைக். கீழே இறக்கி கூட பார்க்கல உனக்கு.
Just out of curiosity, do you guys use Git?
இவங்க
Okay.
பேசுறது கேக்குதா பாருங்க.
Hopefully.
என்னதான் பண்றாங்க?
At least you could revert. Okay, we're moving on to the next question. Anyone using AI to design?
நம்ம பேசுறது
Design? I actually want one person to tell me how you're using it to design. Each is using So what I have done is, okay, there are some errors in my website. Okay, use the Chrome dev tools to help me debug the issues. Hit enter, and now what happens is like pure magic. As long as Claude doesn't go down in the middle of the demo. And it has loaded the skill. It has understood, hey, there is a skill. And it now understood how to work with the Chrome DevTools MCP. Look at the message. Chrome DevTools MCP wants to navigate to this HTML page. And it asks me, do you want to proceed? No one hits yes. It's always yes and don't ask again. That's the right way to go. And it launches the debugging browser. See? It launches the browser. Let me also explain this. Okay, it's side by side now. Now it asks list the console message. Can I run this command? I say yes, go ahead. Check out all the console messages. And it now found some error messages. It asks me to list by ID. I just have to keep hitting yes for a while till it executes all these actions. Now it has found the source via the debugger. Basically, you have the sources tab inside the Chrome DevTools, right? It's actually not there. And it is now asking, I want to see the network request that's happening while this page is running. Yeah, go ahead. The fun part is I still haven't said this sources in this directory yet. It's like completely inspecting this website as a separate web page. Now, it came back with a whole bunch of errors. First, Favicon is missing. That network request is happening and it's failing. Next, it actually found this from the source. In console errors HTML file, line number 348, it's trying to do this tags.join, but it's coming back as undefined. And finally, the sync to cloud, we never defined the function, it just keeps trying to call the function again and again. So with zero context, just like our real human browsers the browser, it actually went there, checked the DevTools, network request, and basically came back with a full set of errors. I actually built quite a big list of demo websites, broken forms, accessibility violation, performance issues. This is like pretty interesting because now this page is a very laggy page because I put so much loops inside to make it lag on purpose. Now I can ask Chrome. So far it used like network and console, two tabs you might visit often. How many of you here actually went to performance tab and did a performance audit before? How was your experience? Was it like very nice? Google just tells you like, hey, this component is performance. It gives like a huge chart and asks you like, do some small neurosurgery level debugging. Here's what happens when Claude does this. Let's reduce the size and I'll add the prompt. Here, this time I'm not going to say Chrome DevTools. I'm going to believe Claude is smart enough to figure out it has to use Chrome DevTools. Let's hope. Otherwise, I'll have to write that down again. So I have told it. It's suffering from serious performance issues. Oh, it actually it picked it up automatically. Now the tool already is here. Now, performance star trace. This is the most annoying tool for any developer to work with because it's like so damn annoying to understand those graphs. Luckily, the agent understands it really well. So I just had it do the start trace. It's doing everything behind the scenes. The dev tools is just not open. And performance analyzing insight. Yeah, go for it. I should have said like dangerously enabled, but I wanted to show you guys the tools it's picking up. That's why I'm manually like hitting enter every time. Now it actually found the file. This is why your agent is like, if it's too smart, it tries to like figure out if the current directory has that file or not. Anyway, let's wait. Previously it didn't find the file, now it found out. Alright. Blocking main interval rendering every 5 milliseconds. I was the one who wrote that to make sure it keeps on running that set interval. And this is layout thrashing in a loop. This is actually pretty difficult. Huge application because it basically like forces a layout to calculate again and again. Unless you come to this function, do a console.log and see the calculation, it's like very annoying to find. You basically figure it out by going through that performance trace. Now, this is already like awesome enough because you get to inspect the console network, the performance tab, basically the few leftover items you used to do before giving everything to the agent. Now the agent has already started picking up those things as well. This is where things get a little bit more interesting. So technically, the agent can see the browser. Correct? It knows there's a browser, it can see the browser. What happens when it can see the browser? It will actually can design the page really well when it sees the browser, correct? So for that, I built an amazing website and gonna ask Claude to like redesign this website. Now you know why I installed that design skill. So here's my website. I made sure it's like IE9 classic design and have like Claude do a live web design on stage. Let's hope it works well. But good luck, I ended up with use Chrome Devil. So basically what I'm saying is, hey, I have this really old website in this URL, and I also gave it the source file because this time I actually wanted to edit that file. So I said the source is in this path, need you to redesign it, new brutalist design. That's like one easy modern look. And ensure it's responsive across mobile, tablet, and desktop. Okay, and make sure you are using Google DevTools to verify it. Now, let's see how it goes about this task. Started the work. I have installed all the required skills.
ஆடியோ மட்டும் வரல.
See, front-end design is loaded. It has found the front-end design skill.
ஆடியோ அதுலேருந்து வரல, ஆனால் வருதா அது எங்கே இருக்குதுன்னு தெரியல.
இதில் செட் பண்ணிங்களா நம்ம இந்த செட்டிங்ஸில்?
அது ஆஃப் பண்ண மொத்தமாக
It takes a while. Yeah.
அதுதான் இங்கே வரல.
இங்கே ஏதோ ஒரு ஆப்ஷன் இருக்குல்ல, மைக் இன்புட் ஆப்ஷன், அதை மாற்றிட்டீங்களா?
எங்கே
No.
ஆடியோ இன்புட் கேப்ஷன் தான் இருக்குது. இவனே எப்படி ஷோ பண்ணுறான்?
I designed it using JSLovers.
மூணுமே ஒரே வேவ்ல
மைக் ஆஃப் சவுண்ட் இருக்கு.
I didn't want to give any advantages to
எல்லாமே
Claude.
ஒன்று தான், எல்லாமே ஒரே வேவ்ல தான் போகுது பாருங்க.
எனக்கு ஃபீல் வேணும்.
அதான் இதை மட்டும் ஆன் பண்ணி விட்டேன்.
Yeah, that's why I did it.
நெக்ஸ்ட் டைம் செக் பண்ணிக்கிறேன்.
This entire project is completely blind for Claude. This is the first time it's running, that's why it's asking me
வீடியோ
out there.
ரெண்டு வீடியோ சேர்த்து வருது.
It's also why I was nervous the whole time. I don't know what it's gonna do.
ஃபோட்டோஸ் எப்படி மினிமம்
Okay,
நிறைய
it's
எடுத்துருவோம்.
taking all the tokens, it takes this time because it has to understand what neo-brutalism design is, how to like plan the entire thing out. And this is also the last demo, so don't worry, I won't take much more
ஸ்பீக்கர்
time.
மட்டும் இல்லை, ஆடியன்ஸுமே ஆடியன்ஸுமே கேப்சர் பண்ணுவாங்க. ஸோ நம்ம ட்ரைவ் ஷேர் பண்ணுறப்போ அங்கே ஃபோட்டோஸ் இருக்குது அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு அவங்க ஷேர் பண்ணுவாங்க. இப்போ நம்ம பேசுறது எல்லாத்தையும் லைவில் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
தேங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் லிசனிங்.
When I was testing it with Codex, it was faster. Meantime, any questions so far? I think Claude is designed to take its sweet time. Access from IT team for what? Downloading some Markdown files. Claude. How to get access to Claude? Oh, okay. So, what CLI does your organization want you to use? Huh? Copilot. Does Copilot have a coding agent? I don't know, they are nerfing themselves. Okay, now check this out. It has come up with a full design itself. Okay, you design it to one shot that entire page. So let me allow it to edit. Now, here's the verification part. This is where things get interesting. It's designed to navigate to that page. Where is that? Okay, it's not visible yet. Emulate commands, yes. It's emulating the viewport and it's taking the screenshot. Okay, yes. But where is the browser? Is the browser running in headless? The browser's here. Ooh, it came out nice. It's actually like resizing it if you notice. It's checking it in mobile format. It's changing the viewport so it can see how it looks in mobile and it's actually taking screenshot. So the model can see how the design is coming out. And it's making a fix. The overflow X should be hidden for mobile. Okay. There goes most of the small little tasks we used to do. Yeah, the text that you see in Chrome, right? Chrome is controlled by an automated test software. Yeah. So basically, it's taking more screenshots across the viewport. It's making sure everything is visible in the specific viewport. And it also changes it to like different device once this viewport is done. Okay, I think it's gonna do a full-blown debugging now. So let's just assume that it has done its job really well. I think it's gonna take its sweet time redesigning the whole thing. Cool. We'll come back to that once it finishes it. So, here's what we have learned so far. We have installed the Chrome DevTools, we have installed the required skills, and we basically saw browser doing all the navigation, inspect, debugging, testing, and the design part. So basically everything that were previously not doable by Claude is now actually very much doable. And right now there are lots of teams using it, because if you see the install count on those front-end design and all those things, you would have noticed so many people are already like actively using it. And before I go to the next part, this is where we are also working on browser OS. So for people who don't know, browser OS is basically an open source agentic browser. So the idea behind browser OS is it helps you add native AI specific features within your browser for all types of work. You can be a developer, project manager, marketing, sales, for everyone. Browser OS provides a cool set of features to work with. Okay? To show you an example, you all saw Chrome DevTools MCP. This is browserOS.spell, and entire browserOS project is open source. You can go check out GitHub. I'm actively like working on it. So Chrome DevTools is basically giving browsers some tools to work with, correct? Showing it how to inspect, how to like. But there are two problems. One is it needs a new profile of Chrome. And the second is it runs with WebDriver enabled, which means websites will know an automation tool is crawling it. What browserOS does is it says you are anyway going to use the browser. We let you use your actual browser itself. No need to create a separate profile. No need to run a debugging port. You just open browserOS, connect to the MCP. You are in. Your logged in accounts. Let's say you are in QA. You are staging. All these accounts logged in. All the accounts are accessible for the agent to work with. And we made it easy, so we added more tools into browserOS. Now what we can have is hidden tabs and windows, because you don't want to like wait for it to like keep opening and closing pages. That gets pretty annoying, right? So we added hidden pages, and we added even more tools. Get all the links from that page, search the DOM elements within the page. These are all tools will be very much liked by Claude. If it hasn't, it will get its work done much faster. And you will also see we are like further providing it more options, like save screenshots of your website. So you can attach your website's design along with your ticket itself once it starts saving. Download files, save your page as PDF, a whole bunch of tools. It even lets you like play around with bookmarks. You can say, hey, I have bookmarked all my staging URLs, just go use that bookmark. It will just go find those bookmarks and then does the entire QA on that. And we are right now working on the debugging and performance. Chrome CDP has a quite list of tools, but we are actually like redesigning and figuring out how to make this even better, so that it doesn't keep on waiting to see all the consoles. It will quickly know how to find the error consoles much faster. And it connects with external apps. So it knows your Gmail, Jira, LinkedIn, GitHub, everything directly from within the browser. You can say, hey, my issue is in Jira ticket number JK156. Follow the instructions and do a QA on my ticket, and the browser actually understands and it will read the ticket and does the QA completely. So suddenly, we took existing Chrome CDP and put superpowers inside it. Now you have an agentic browser that pretty much makes you lazy for life. Pretty nice, right? And not just Chrome DevTools. The interesting thing about open source is, if you use Claude Cowork, if you use OpenClaw, we have comparable features directly within the browser. And we are also like pushing a lot of new features on Monday. Feel free to go and try browserOS and share your feedback with me. So this concludes my talk on using CDP for web development. Hope you understood how powerful it is now. You give like additional tools and power to your agent, and how my product actually comes into place once you learn how it works. Cool guys, any questions? I'm open for, yeah. I need to like pass my turn. Also, I'm very active on Twitter. If you use BrowserOS and you need any features or questions, tag me directly in Twitter. We'll be like very responsive. We'll like help you out.
Bro, some websites have like banned crawling, so how you like paying it?
Pardon?
So like some websites are banning the crawling of the browsers, like crawling. So how you like facing the problem?
We are actually making sure BrowserOS behaves like a real human. So it won't trigger it right away. There will still be safeguards, but it will make it possible to test your own websites little better, easier. That's it.
So some Cloudflare has some algorithmic hash cache. So it will just like a browser like test in lower like setting some tools algorithms. So how will it solve?
I don't understand. Why are you running brute force on someone else's website?
No. I think like Cloudflare has a feature called hash cache.
Okay.
So thing is while crawler is trying to get fetch data from a website, so the algorithm will send a kind of code snippet, kind of tricky questions to the crawler. So how you know like face it?
So, good question, but that's not even in our focus right now because we are like trying to build it as a developer tool, right?
Okay.
Mostly you will be using it on your own website. So you can disable it while you are running it.
Okay.
But bypassing cache, there are already many open source tools available to bypass cache. That's an endless conflict between the crawlers and the actual security. You can install those tools as like skills in your code today itself.
Okay.
Install and try those things out.
Okay. So as per your just to go through your video before, I found out that you are using some unknown license. So license is like irrelevant to the Google patches. So if there are any patches coming up, will you fix it as soon as possible?
Which unknown license?
Like you have mentioned like two licenses over there, ACP and unknown license over like BSC class. So
Okay.
my thing is like license I mentioned over like the patches are patches are like Google will not be added in your project. So how will you defend it?
Okay, so we are actually using a fork of Chromium, which is by default like open source. This is the same fork that is used by other browsers like Brave, Edge, and everything. So we just added the additional license for our tools that we are building on top of it. So the AGPL license is for our custom tools. So technically, as long as Chromium remains open source, this will also remain open source. It will just continue to follow. Yes, next.
Otherwise, some kind of agent account. So I need to buy a subscription from a blog or OpenAI to use this browser.
Yeah, you still need to buy a subscription to a model because this is just an agent. But the one good thing about browser OS is since it runs sensitive information, you can bring any type of LLM key. It need not be Claude or Codex expensive ones. You can even bring in DeepSeek, Kimi K2, those kind of model keys as well. Yeah, you can run it with Olama. The performance will be a little bad, but you can technically run it. Lots of our users like use Olama. There's a docs section provided for that. In docs itself, we have a separate local model guide. You can check that out. We don't give access to tools for passwords. So by default, the agent cannot read your password, but if you have set up some autofill and stuff, it might accidentally get seen, but that's a risk you deal with when you are working with the agentic browser. By default, the security measures are in place. your browser cannot ask for the password. It's like only private to Chrome. Unless it's being written somewhere on the web page, then it might leak, but that depends. It's the entire industry with agentic coding is new. We are like consistently following the security updates best practices. We are building like a lot of guardrails as we go across building it. Yeah, that is prompt injection. That risk exists in all agentic browsers like Perplexity, Atlas. So prompt injection attacks are possible in the wild right now. There is like no established guardrails yet. Right now we are adding as much safety precautions as possible. This is up to you how you are gonna work with the agentic browser. Yeah. One more question and then we'll connect offline.
Can you deal with the performance issues of the bridge?
Yeah, I showed a demo itself, right? How to work with performance problems.
I mean, like, I think I saw the design being changed, but I'm not sure about performance. Does it deal with everything or like any specific performance issues that you like?
If the performance problem shows up in your performance on Chrome CDP, it will be able to identify. Or even you can give a prompt saying this section is taking so and so seconds. Help me figure out how. It will inspect the network request and all, and it will try to figure it out. There is a separate section on performance. You can try it out once you get the repo. The repo is open source. You can see, or you can check the video itself. I have shown how it does performance debugging. All right. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Danny, Akash. So we move on to the next session. So the next session will be handled by Subhaya, so a very known person of us here. So he already gave a small talk. So Subhaya, in short, he is a VP at Pure Airlines, having around 25 plus years of experience. Along with him, we also have Muthu, Principal Technical Architect at Pure Airlines, with around 20 plus years of experience. So let's all give a big round of applause to them, and the stage is yours.
We wanted to avoid the number of years of experience to look younger, but she said that. So I hope you can hear that properly. So thanks, Danny boy. So I think Danny has an alternate job, I think, right? So even if I think he's in the latest, he will not lose his job, but still he can be a good lecturer, right? இந்த கிளிப்பிள்ளைக்கு சொல்ற மாதிரி ஸ்டெப் பை ஸ்டெப்பா என்ன பண்ணணுங்கிற மாதிரி கிளியரா புட்டு வச்சாருன்னு நினைக்கிறேன் Danny. Great job. Okay, get started. So we wanted to turn on certain light to wake you up, and then maybe we'll start the session. So I think there was an interesting question. Somebody said that we are asked to use only, what to say, Copilot, right? So most of the customers, we are a services organization and we also face similar issues. So a lot of our customers say, okay, we have only licenses to Copilot. So the way we resolve that is two forward. One, you will see how we are using Copilot to deliver certain results, which you will see in this particular presentation. And then another way is to show the value, right? I think a lot of customers are not fully aware of the value that you can generate to them or give it to them, right? So they're not ready to provide you licenses for your learning, right? You say, hey, this is looking good, there is a lot of capability, we need license, nobody will give you that, right? You have to take a real world problem, right? What they are struggling with, what is the current priority of the customer. Always we need to think from the customer's perspective. Okay, if they have to spend that money, how do I influence them to spend it on what I want, right? So for that you have to think from their perspective. You have to find out the most burning issue that they have got today, where they are spending more money, where the project is getting delayed, and how AI can be used to transform that particular initiative. If you do a small POC with that, okay, then obviously any customer they will say yes to that. Okay, so without any proper use case, if you go and ask for license keys, you will always end up saying, go ahead and use Copilot, right? So unless you have a business case, it is extremely difficult. Okay, you need to identify the clear problem, what you are going to solve, and how it is going to benefit the customer. Without that, it is extremely difficult to get the keys because it is very expensive, right? So, say for example, if you use Opus and other things, it will just like that burn the money, right? So unless you don't know what you are going to deliver, it is extremely difficult. Okay. So I hope I'm audible, right? Or is there any challenge? Okay, so there is a feedback to speak loudly, so I wanted to confirm with you guys. Okay. So again, if I say raise of hands, it will be very, very difficult. I think you are tired, and this, I think Danny has asked so many times what you are doing, and I got some responses from that, right? So most of you said you are already using some kind of code generation tools for you, right? And I'm very sure you are all a prompt engineer, where you give some kind of prompt to Copilot and then get things done. So I got some questions. Before introducing the topic, I have got some questions. We will start. And to make you respond, we have got goodies to give away. Okay, so the person who answers closest to the response that we are expecting, we will hand over a goodie for you. Okay. So the first question is, if you send out this prompt, okay, update my API to include a search feature to the code generation tool, okay, what would be your expected output from the LLM or a code gen tool? Anybody who wants to give it a try? As I said, we have got a goodie for who says the right answer. Yeah.
The API should have the search key.
That's the question you are asking. So what would be the code gen's response?
It will check for that API, which API we want to give them. And if there is a search key means it will check for that implementation, how it's get implemented and how the search is implemented.
Okay.
The first step it will acknowledge that what the question, then it will ask for the context, more detail, where do you want to add the search features and what is the what are the things you are going to search, because we are not going to do some random search on website. So what feature or what model you are going to search, those things it will ask. And if we give it in the prompt itself, it will just go and build it in the particular place. Else it will ask for the location.
You guys are very proactive. You send this input, what is the expected output from the LLM?
Anybody who wants to try?
Depends on the model. So it will first see if there is a slash search anywhere in the API. Otherwise, it will try to create a slash search, and it will see what data the API is currently delivering, and it will try to see if something can be made searchable. If nothing's working, it will ask a second prompt saying what data you want to like add it as a search feature.
We will go to the next one.
Until or unless the entire context is clear, the feature will not get implemented.
Okay. I think though you didn't say the right answer or expected answer from my end. See, especially in the AI world, there is no deterministic output, right? So it could be any answer, and I think you are the closest, so maybe we can give that GitHub. So the potential output from this particular prompt could be, it could maybe introduce a vulnerability, right? So it might introduce an SQL injection vulnerability because we didn't provide sufficient context in this prompt, right? So we didn't provide sufficient context. We didn't say are we prototyping, what is the current context of this particular use case that we are giving. We are just giving a prompt and it is able to what it thinks, right? We are not giving sufficient information to the prompt, okay? So I know probably you would have not understood the schema of this question. Okay, what was the question and what is the expectation we are having here, right? So to give another opportunity, we will have another question quickly before we move on to the presentation. So you give 1,000 lines of Java class and then say go do a modernization of this particular code. What do you expect the LLM will do with this prompt? Any response? Maybe based on the previous responses, we want to give it a try. What it will do? So he's learning from the previous data.
It cannot refactor the unit test cases and the integrated test cases that are part of the doing architecture. We also need to change how the the related test cases need to be updated. We also need to change the way the system is built, like the formats and how the build process of it, right? So it's not just about refactoring the classes.
I think it is also an acceptable answer. Maybe we will ask one more and then we will decide.
So as of now, it will be a monolithic application. When it comes to microservice, there should be communication between different microservices needs to be done. We should need to prompt that one also, and also for security things and all, like we can use the PG or something. We should need to mention those things also. And like the same way, the exact same answer that I'm going to give. The context should need to be clear.
How to correct this prompt? You are right. Okay. Okay. One last. Okay. So I think that is also good. Maybe we will give it to him. Okay. And then we will move on. Okay. To the next topic actually. Okay, the potential thing is one, it may not be comprehensive because we didn't give sufficient context again in this use case also. So it might just we have oversimplified this request, and then this might happen. Okay, so it's not necessary that it should happen, but it might happen. Okay, so this is the point. So that now this leads to the topic of the day. Okay, so we all know we are giving a lot of prompts to this LLMs, and then we are generating code or we are doing one by one. So this leads to the topic spec-driven development. Okay, that's going to be the topic for today. We are going to talk about spec-driven development and how, what are the best practices in using it. Right? So that's going to be the topic. How many of you know about spec-driven development or at least heard about it? Oh, I'm surprised. Okay, so I thought this is a topic which, when we gave this topic 2 weeks back, it sounded like okay, reasonable. But then there is a lot of documentation, lot of webinars on this topic. So I thought many of you might know already. But maybe we'll do a quick introduction run to this. So given this world of what to say, IG Reels and YouTube shorts and things like that, maybe I thought we will explain what is spec-driven development with a famous movie clip. I know in one of the earlier ice-breaking sessions, somebody said most of them here are from South, knows Tamil, and there was one person who said, I don't know Tamil, so excuse to him once again. And we will show you a small clip to explain what is spec-driven development, okay? So I think though the audio was not clear, most of you would have understood what is spec-driven development now or what is prompt engineering now, right? So you keep asking question after question and then you get the response. I didn't know what is the better way to explain this. Given I am a project manager, I think that is also kind of racked me during the previous presentation, like project managers can use this one. So to my level of technical knowledge, I thought this would be the right message that I can give to you guys to make sure this is what is spec-driven development. Maybe the next video will say what is spec-driven development, which already you guys know what it is, right? Do you want this video to continue or we can, it's just a 30-second clip, so we will just. there is a connection to daddy in this movie also, right? I think the villain at the end of the movie is the daddy, I guess, right? So this is spec-driven development, right? So you provide all required information to do the development to the model. Okay, so from this requires both your business requirement. You need to have the business requirement fully captured. Then you need to have the wireframes, prototypes also captured, and then you need to have even the spec at the page level, module level. You need to provide the entire detail. Okay, until this complete document is available, you are not going to hit the LLM to generate the code. Okay, it's not like you have some idea, you give a prompt and then you get a code, then you iterate it again and again and again. Right? So you spend a lot of time with the design. You speak with your stakeholders, build the entire specification, and then you hit the model to generate the code, and then you iterate it from there. Okay, so that's the whole concept of spec-driven development, and then the spec is here the code. Okay, so code is no more the strength of the developer here. Okay, so the code will automatically be generated by the model. So the asset what we are generating here is all about the spec. Okay, the spec is the code, today's code. Okay, so with that I will hand it over to Muthu. Okay, to walk you through some of the best practices that you may want to follow during the spec-driven development, right? So, though we say you have to provide all the details, but what level of details, what you need to capture. So, based on our current experience, we are delivering few projects in spec-driven development for our customers. So, based on our experience in delivering a production-ready or production-grade application, what you need to use in the development cycle. Okay, the spec-driven development. We will take you through some 4 or 5 best practices that we have followed in our projects. Okay. Thanks, Sophia. Basically here, right? So we are not going to show you how to create a spec and all. Instead, we will be talking about how to follow the best practices to create a spec, which is provide a production grade application. So the first and foremost here, right, there are 5 steps involved in creating a spec. Okay. The first would be like writing the business requirement. So we have to sit with the customer and then get the requirement documented, right? So that needs to be given to LLM, and then from there we need to create a prototype spec. So prototype spec is nothing but from which you will be creating a wireframe or prototype application, wherein the stakeholders can see what going to be coming out of this prototype, right? So once that prototype spec is created, right, and then the stakeholders are agreed to go with that specific spec. So that will be the source for creating your detailed spec. So detailed spec is like something for each and every pages in the application, right? So that will be generated, and all the backends, how the API is going to be, and then how the database schema is going to be, and all those information will be in the detailed spec. Okay, so until this stage, right, this build stages, it's all going to be like creating your design for your application. So till now we have not created any code. Okay, so we haven't given anything to the LLM and then provided, right? So this is kind of do your design before you start coding. So that is the olden days standards, right? Whenever we create application function or whatever it is. So this is what we are saying, right? So same thing we are also will be following it here as well. So before you even generate the application code, detail it out and then create a efficient spec, so which can the LLM can understand and then give you a production grade application. Okay, so after that, so the same the spec, right, whatever we have created can be given to the LLM. So LLM can now know what text will be developed. Okay, so in this way, we'll be adding the acceptance criteria as well. Okay, so what it will do is, we get the spec, we get the application with the instruction whatever given in the spec. Finally, it will run the acceptance criteria as a test to validate your application workflow. Basically, it's going to test your application. Okay. So we need to follow all these five steps. Okay, so if you miss any one, right, it's going to the LLM going to hallucinate. Okay, so let's say for the first step, right, if you give the just the requirement to LLM directly, it's going to be huge for LLM to understand, right? So it's obviously going to hallucinate. Same thing with the prototype spec, right? If you don't give the prototype spec, what will happen is there will be a requirement gap, and then there will be a rework, right? So to avoid that, we have to definitely follow these five steps. Okay, so that is not going to be major best practices which we need to follow. So with that, I will show you what all the specs we have created, and then you can see what is in there in the spec. Okay. So these are some specifications we have created over here. Okay, so we'll start with the business requirement. Okay. So if you see here, so it starts with the product vision. Okay, wherein the high level vision of the product is given over here. So this application is nothing but Dev Connect, not like our Java Developers Connect. So it's like a similar application we are trying to creating over here. Okay. For that, we have given a target users. So there'll be attendee, there'll be a speaker, and then organizer, right? So those roles are there defined in this specification. Okay, and then there comes the core business requirement, wherein the user authentication profiles, right? So those things are detailed out in bulleted points. It's all going to be high level, so it's all we'll be getting this requirement from the stakeholders, right? So those things we can put in a single document, and then have it ready for the next step for the prototype specification. Okay, so these are going to be the input for that step. So it's all detailing the high level requirements here, if you see. So majorly there are 5 requirements, right? It covers authentication, event management, right, dashboarding, all those things in the proposal, everything. And then we have also covered the non-functional requirements, right? How the non-functional requirement would be like that is also at a high level. So this will be the idea for LLM to think about this and then build application for your production. Okay. So this is how your business requirement going to be. So this will be used to create the prototype. So this is other best practice wherein we have to create this prototype spec. This is going to be the input for creating a wireframe. Okay. So this is derived from the business requirement. Okay, wherein you give the application navigation structure, right? And then each and every screen specification is given over here, like how the UI should be, what are the elements of the UI going to be, right? All these details are given over here, and then given a API, right? So those details also given over here, and actions like if you click on this particular button, what needs to be done, right? So each and every point here, right, it's going to give an idea for the LLM to create a clear application, right? detailed stuff. So at the bottom right, so you'll be having a acceptance criteria. So this will be used to validate the application code which you are going to create. So this is for the second screen, event detail. So it's like a machine readable screen, right? So wherein it's going to understand how the page should be, right? Where the controls going to be. So for each and every page, right? So you'll be detailing everything. Basically for each and every page, right? So you'll be having a acceptance criteria. So when we do this along with customer, right? So we'll be having a workshop wherein we discuss with the customer, and then we create the prototype in that workspace, workshop itself, and then create the application and then show them how the application is going to be kind of. Okay, so we'll be showing all this. So this is created from the prototype spec. Okay, so that the stakeholders can comment here, and then if they want to change any of these controls and then the functionalities, right? So that can be done again in the business requirement. Right? So we have to modify the business requirement and then generate this spec, right? And then again create the application, prototype application, and show to them. So that all the requirements can be captured in this spec, right? So that there won't be any rework henceforth. So this prototype manual, right? So prototype spec may take some iteration to come up with, right? Because it requires the stakeholders confirmation, right? Okay. So once this is done, right? Once this spec is signed off, we'll be creating a detailed spec. Okay, if you see here under spec folder, right, you'll be seeing a lot of specs for each and every pages. Okay. So in that, right, so when you try to create the detailed spec, so first and foremost is the platform spec. Okay, so this platform spec is something going to give a organization-wide standard, right? Wherein we can give the coding standards, database standards. So all those org-level standards, right? So that can be defined over here. Okay. So when we are going to create the application, so it's going to take this platform spec first, and then align with all the pages over here. Okay, so this is another standards which we followed in order to create the enterprise level application. Okay, so if you see this spec, right? So each and every module, right, will have a goal, right, and then fields, and then there will be a project name. So this is going to give you the project, how that project going to be, like whether you need a backend folder, right, backend package, front-end package, things like that. Okay, so this is going to define the project architecture, and there also we will be having an acceptance criteria, right? We see here. So npm install root, install all roots, basically dependencies, right? So each and every, so even the port also we have defined over here. So that if your spec is more detailed, right? So you can reduce the hallucination of LLM, right? So that is the idea over here. Okay, so if you see when multiple pages are there, each and everything has its own spec and then detail. So even a schema is defined over here, right? this better? Okay, yeah. So the spec is not about defining what you want in English. Okay, that is not the spec-driven development. Okay, so that is maybe an enhanced version of your prompt engineering where you provide the details with the goal, objectives, etc. Okay, that is covered only in the business requirement. Okay, if you notice the best practices that we created, so there are three different stages to try to explain. Okay, one is the business requirement. Okay, then the prototyping, and then the third is platform. Then from that, the code is getting generated. Okay, there are three different steps that we show. Okay, the business requirement is to ensure that you have the clear detailing of your actors. Okay, who will be the user, etc., what are the functionalities. All of those will be listed down in that particular format. That is in the business requirement. Okay. And then the second portion, okay, when you do this configuration or wireframe, we are not letting the LLM to generate its own layout and screens and things like that. Okay, so we are actually interacting with the business users, ensuring that we are understanding what they are looking for, and then we get the prototypes approved by the customer, and then we are converting that into a machine readable format, AMD format, and then we are giving that as a prototype. Okay, and then the third is the platform related specification. Okay, where we actually specify what needs to be input and what are the get methods and whatever is needed, the technical details that is needed, it is all provided in the platform spec. Okay, so unless you provide the entire detail, you cannot build something which is production grade, which is explainable. Okay, if you just give what is needed as a business requirement, LLM will generate, and then like some of you said, the problem with debugging, the problem with explaining what you have developed will become a challenge. And also, this is like a transition that we are doing. Okay, most of you, I don't know the experience a bit of this crowd here. Some of you would have already interacted with the customer for customer specific project. There are requirements given by a customer, and then we are trying to satisfy a customer. Okay, and now we cannot jump directly and say that we will use only an LLM and then we will generate everything, right? So still we need to consult the customer, still we need to get consensus from the customer before we could deliver something to the customer. So how do you collaboratively work with the customer? At the same time, how do you use AI to accelerate the development is this process. Okay, it's not about why you need so much of detailing before you develop this code. I can give something to the LLM, I can iteratively develop. It's not about that, right? How do you bring the stakeholders on board to your way of development? Okay, accept, interact with the customers, and then get all the necessary details in the specifications. Okay, define exactly how the backend architecture should look like, what it should use, what it should import. Everything needs to be captured prior. Okay, and then you are using AI as an assistant to code. Okay, you are not allowing AI to dominate you. Okay, you are dominating the AI. Okay, so by doing this level of detailing of the spec, you are dominating what AI should think and what AI should look like. Okay, and it is not the other way around. Okay, you should do an AI assisted coding. Okay, still you should take control of what you are developing. You should be in a position to explain what it is. And if you have to do that, then you have to do this level of detailing before you hit the AI. If you give half-baked information to the AI, then you are under the control of AI. You don't know what it is generating, and then you will then continuously iterate, and then you would not be able to explain, you would not be able to satisfy your customer, and then again people will say that this is a failed project. Okay, so that is not the way to look at it. This is more to take how to take the stakeholders concerned, and then how to take control of the AI, and then leverage AI to your benefit. Okay, that's the whole agenda of the spec-driven development. Okay. So this is something that we are practicing today for some customers. Okay, 2 or 3 customers we are already practicing it, and then we felt our own challenges also. Right, when we started to do this development, there are some incremental requirement changes that come in. Okay, then again we go to the code generated and then we try to add something. Sometimes the performance is not that great in the production deployment, etc. So this is one of the reasons why we started to create this entire spec in beforehand with complete architecture as information in the platform's specification, and then we are getting the AI. Okay, so now this is like we are completely transforming the business process, and we are spinning quite a lot of such greenfield application using this specifications. Okay. So maybe we can go to the slide there, or you have something to show more. Okay, so this is the page spec, okay, wherein if you see here, right? So this is even detailed, okay. So each and every element in the UI, it's defined over here, right? And then so if you see here, all the database related stuff also defined. UI actions, right? So backend actions, who's going to call this, all those service information, everything is detailed out here. So just basically we spend a lot of time in creating the spec, right, so that we can reduce the development effort. Okay, so all this spec, right, I have given to the cloud, and then it has taken 20 to 35 minutes to develop the whole application. This is how it is. Okay. So it has implemented authentication, right? Everything, it has 3, 4 roles that has also been implemented. So everything has done by cloud in 30 minutes. So that is the message we wanted to tell you over here. And so from here on, right, so maybe if you go out of this meet, right, so you can just start small. Okay, you can try to write your SDLA by doing a spec, creating a spec first, and then start using it. Okay. So when you create a spec, so you have to follow the standards, right? And then every feature, right, what you create, right? So it has to go as a one PM, so that you will be having a traceability. Like it, just like that, you just don't give everything to the cloud or whatever the code are creating AI, right? Don't give like that. So take one file from here, one spec from here, and then create the code, and then test it, and then create a PR and then merge it. So that, right, so you will be having a traceability. Yeah. So, so how to create a spec? Maybe you guys can go and try with this tool. It's called package. Okay, so it's going to give you a structured way of creating a specifications. So this tool you can use it in order to create. Yeah.
அதான் சொல்லிட்டாங்களே இப்போ மாதிரி இனிமே வந்து இந்த டெக் அந்த டெக்லாம் கிடையாது.
Yeah. So usually when you do re-engineering, right? I mean, I'm assuming that most of this stuff is for re-engineering, existing. Okay. Okay. Business. Okay, so it's more like existing existing businesses, if we are digitizing them, digital transformations of existing businesses. Like, have you tried doing this for any modernization and?
We have done it for the modernization, but it requires a certain prerequisites of clear, cloud to the spec automation. Okay, we already have one product on AI, which actually tries to understand the existing code and then it builds a thorough documentation of the existing code processes. And then from there it generates the BRP document, and then from the BRP document, based on the target architecture, it will create the spec, and from the spec it will go to the code generation process.
Okay.
So there is a slightly different approach to the application modernization,
okay.
which we are doing as well. But this particular use case that we are referring to is purely for a business increasing for business.
Like the modernization application, right? So we have to check the database schema, right? Current database schema,
Yeah.
and then existing code base, service interactions, right? So those things are we need to first analyze.
Okay.
Then we have to make a spec from that in order to migrate.
Yeah, because legacy systems usually have that existing APIs and all those libraries that.
Exactly. So for that, the MCP servers, right? So that will be very useful in doing modernization.
Any more questions?
So, can spectrum framework be applied for the legacy to new things? And what happens when there is some change in the of this? So you create all the scripts, but then that comes something. So I feel that it is not, we can't be very much agile by writing a lot of scripts before the development starts. This is something my own opinion, but I just want to understand if there was some scenario like that. So,
yeah, see, earlier what we did was we didn't have this prototyping oriented aspects. Okay, and then we created the business enablement, we gathered a platform, which is like a technical documentation was available, and then we generated the product. And there was the existing customers, the users of that not fully satisfied with the way the outcome was completed. So we have to iterate multiple times. When you go for this technical development, iterate multiple times, then the code is unmanageable, right? So you cannot manage the code like a user. So what we did was, that is why we brought in the prototyping step that we saw immediately, right? Where we work with the customer. Say for example, in this particular instance, we use Laravel, and then we created a wireframe or a block of screens. We worked with the customer to freeze how it will look like, and then we took those navigations and then we used it as a specification. So that it is not deviating, and the requirement is 100% clear. But even otherwise, right? So there will be obviously an enhancement that will have to do that. So the spec will become the version. Okay, so the spec will be version, and then from here we will enhance it from this particular baseline version of the spec. So the spec is the code here. So the code will get updated. Similarly, the spec will be updated. But the starting point has to be completely thorough, and then we want to interact with the stakeholders to build this specification. If there are any more questions, or we can maybe offline connect, so we will have to discuss a bit. Okay, we will be available offline for any discussions.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much. 2 months over. Yeah. So now we have a break. So 4:30. So we all gather back around 4:40. We have coffee machines here. So please grab your coffees, some biscuits as well, and water is also available. So the restroom is on the left side. So please. We have one more restroom on the behind as well, it seems. So please make use of that as well. And we try to be back in our place in around 10 minutes, and we'll have a short icebreaker and then get back to our third block.
How to pause? Was it?
ஆக்சுவலாக நம்ம இதுதான் பண்ணுறதா இருந்தது. சரி
ஆனால் எனக்கு தெரிஞ்சு 3 நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
சரி ஓகே
எல்லாம் ஒரே வேவ்லென்த்தில் தான் வருது. சரி
Just to a small glimpse of what this icebreaker has. It has totally 10 questions, technical, non-technical, it's combined. More of very simple things. So the speed that you take to answer the question matters, because I think most of the questions you know the answer, but at what speed you enter the answer matters. So yeah, that's it about. Each question have around 20 seconds or 30 seconds depending upon the high level of the questions. So once everyone have scanned the QR and entered the game, we can start. I think everyone can. Can you give the heads up so that we can start? Sorry.
இதில் ஏன் விக்னேஷன் வருதுன்னு தெரியல.
இது நீங்கள் வந்து இது பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே, இப்போ நான் கால் என்ன பண்ணோம்?
ஆல்ட் ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணால் இது எக்ஸ்பேண்ட் ஆகும்.
ஓ அந்த ஓகே என்ன பண்ணுவது?
Shall we? Can everyone give a heads up, like if you're able to
இது வந்து
scan the
அதுக்கேற்ற
QR
மாதிரி பண்ணணும்.
ப்ரௌசரில் இருக்குல்ல, எங்கே இருக்கு?
you're able to do?
இது வந்து பின் பண்ணணும்.
Just to button so please. Fine, you're able to join. Shall we start? Is anyone waiting to start or like? Shall we
இன்னும்
start?
அப்டேட் ஆகல.
Sorry? Yeah, okay. We'll start second.
பின் பண்ணிட்டு வந்தேன். அங்கே மூவ் ஆகல, எல்லாம் தெரியுது.
இல்லை ஆனால் அங்கே இது கட் ஆகுது. அதை புத்தா பண்ணோம்.
Yeah, no one tries to manage it. Is anybody yet to join? No, you start.
அப்டேட் ஆக மாட்டேது.
ஆனால் வரல. சரி ஓகே, அப்போ இது ஷ்ரிங்க் பண்ணால் குவாலிட்டிக்கு கட் ஆகும்.
ஆமாம் ஆமாம், ஏன்னா அது ஃபுல் இதுவாயிடும் இப்போ. ஏன்னா பின்னாடி கால் போயிட்டுருக்கு.
இது வந்துருச்சு. ஐயோ, மறுபடியும் இந்த பிரச்சனை வருது. மறுபடியும் இந்த பிரச்சனை வருது.
Okay, we'll start. So the first question.
இது அங்கே கேம் போயிட்டுருக்கு.
So we have an expression and the options are also there. So you need to answer.
ஓகே, முடிச்சிட்டா.
வந்துச்சு.
இன்ட்ராக்ட் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, இவனை கிளிக் பண்ணி இன்ட்ராக்ட் கொடுத்துட்டு இவனை பின் பண்ணிட்டேன். வந்து இதை வந்து கிராப் பண்ணிக்கலாம். ஆல்ட்டை ப்ரெஸ் பண்ணி
So Mononobe is in the first place. And the next question. So you have two images. One is AI and one is real. You need to choose which one is the real image, either A or B.
அதை இன்னும் கட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஸ்க்ரீன் தான் நம்ம இதில் வந்துடும்ல. ஓகே டன் அவ்வளோதான். ஒரே சின்னது கீழே கூட கொஞ்சம் கட் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
So the A image is the real one, and if
இல்ல பண்ணுங்க, அது மூவ் பண்ணிக்கலாம்.
This is the leaderboard. Okay. So the third question.
So வந்துச்சு.
So it's again an multiple choice question. Answer and who leads? So Aravind, I think he leads the board with GK second place, and the fourth question. Pretty easy, right? The time you take to answer it matters. Okay, GK moves top in the leaderboard and moves question. So we have a blurred image and there is a clue of who he is. So you need to type the name of that person. I think many knows the answer, but I could hear the answer. I think it's pretty common, right? No? Okay. So the answer is Sam Asman. So who answered it fast? Okay. So who leads the vote? Okay. Arvind moves back to the top position and the sixth question. Again, a multiple choice question with pretty obvious options. I'm curious if someone answers one. Okay. Okay. And the seventh question. So it's again an AI and real image. You need to choose which one is the real image. Not clear. So the real is A. Tough, easy. Okay, Goa is still in first place and the eighth question. It's again a normal academic kind of question. Multiple choice. So Goa in first and Aravind in second place. So please do have a look on this image. So based on this image, 2 questions will be asked. You continue. Okay. So we go to the question. So the first question is, in that image, that person had sticky notes typed. So how many sticky notes were there? Many generous persons are answering loudly so everyone can answer. Like, yeah, good motive. Okay, with this we have the last question. Also, that question also depends on that image. So the final question, we have the double points. If you answer, the points get double, and it's also in the same image. So that person was using an app, right? So what app it was? You need to put in a proper acronym. What it is? Not it's case sensitive in there, but it's not Excel, right? Okay, so yeah, with this, icebreaker gets over, and we'll see who leads the vote. So the top three of this icebreaker will get the prize. Mithun Anand, who is Mithun Anand? Okay. And second, Dansh. Okay. And the first, Goa. Who's your full name, please? Govardhan. Okay, yeah. So congrats to all three persons. You'll be getting the gifts within the facilitation time. So thank you everyone. And with this, we'll move to our third tech talk. So third tech talk is kind of special to me as well because it is from our very own JSLovers family. So Vignesh, founder of JSLovers as well. So Vignesh is software engineer at BGTS. So his first tech talk, and he wanted to do that in our community. I'm very happy to have him here. Please give him a round of applause. Yeah, Vignesh, stage is yours.
சூப்பர்ப்பா. என்னாச்சு? உன்கிட்ட கேட்டேன். ஓகே. ஓ, ஆமா நீங்க நம்ம ஏகப்பட்டா வந்துட போகுது. அப்படியா? ஆ, ஓகே. Gotcha.
The web was built for humans, but today machines generate most of its traffic, and we are still forcing them to behave like humans. Hello everyone, I am Vignesh Murugan. I work as a software engineer at Krishna Technology Solutions. I have been in the software industry for the past 3+ years. And today I am here to talk about WebMCP. It's a new web standard introduced by W3C, and we are going to look dive into it. But before that, let's see how we came to this point in AI. It was all with the chat groups. Earlier we had a lot of websites where in the right corner you can see a chat icon. You can go and chat. Either it will be some set of predefined questions with answers, or it will be a human on the other end. That's how the chat interface came into web.
And then we had large language models. So these are machine learning models that are trained with predefined data from multiple sources. At earlier stage, these models acts like chatbot, same, but evolution with predefined trained data. You can ask it any questions. So usually the chatbots can answer only regarding that site or product, but these LLMs can give you answer regarding anything in the internet or anything. But it was limited to the data that it was trained on. And then came tools, functions, which these LLMs can get access to. And that's how the concept of AI agents evolved. And now today, we have AI agents that can control our browsers, make decisions, interact with online sources or anything that the browser can access to. So that is where today we are now. So how AI uses the web today? There are two ways the AI uses web, and we are going to discuss on that. So the first one is structured capability access. So let me show you an example. So here's ChatGPT. So this is what the structured capability access. You are going to give me a query. Let me give a query. I'm just typing book me a flight ticket from Chennai to Delhi on 17th of March. Just a random date. But this is a chat interface. It cannot book flight tickets for you. It says I can't complete the booking, but I can find some sources for you. So what I'm trying to mean here is you gave a prompt, you gave a query, it has a system prompt inbuilt with it. This goes to the server, and the server sends it to the knowledge sources. The knowledge sources are database, or any web search, or code, or PDF that it is available on Trained. So from that, it takes the relevant information as a context and sends it back to the server. The server now has the query that you gave, the system prompt, and the enhanced context from the knowledge sources. So all these will be sent to the large language models. In our case, it was OpenAI's ChatGPT. So based on these contexts, it generates response and then it streams it back to your interface where you gave them. So this is what the streamed response is. So my query went on, it went to some knowledge sources like you can see the sources that it referred to. So this is a simple example. So and then the large language model decides and generates a textual response and sends back to us as the stream. So this is how the AI uses web. A structured capability access. So it has a structure. It can go to this web search, it can go to this database, and it can access the data and give you a response at the end. There is another way that AI also uses the web. It is interface level interaction. The very good example of this interface level interaction is Perplexity Stormer and other AI browsers. So what these browsers do? Let me show you an example. So this is Perplexity Stormer. The same query I can give you as well. I just copy the query. I just paste it here. It asks me whether you want to give access and allow once. That is here. Oh, what I did is like I gave the same query that I gave in ChatGPT. Book me a flight ticket from Chennai to Delhi on 17 March. This is Perplexity's common browser. So what it is trying to do is it extracts my query and then it goes to makemytrip.com, and as you can see it is trying to type from to and the date. what this actually does is, after it got my query, it takes a screenshot. I mean, it first goes to the site and takes a screenshot of that site and it sends to a visual model in the server. This model, from the screenshot, tries to find out where is the from, where is the to, where should I enter this. It's actually working like a human. It's mimicking a behavior of a human, right? This is how we will interact with websites. We go to a site, we enter from, we enter to, and then we will search for flights. That's what this AI agent is trying to mimic. I will just so you gave the prompt, and the prompt will have a goal. So as you can see the screenshot is taken, it tries to make guesses from that screenshot. From that, where is the from, where is the to? The visual model tries to find out this information, and then it will go and click on that button and enter the text, and then it repeats this process until our goal is achieved. So these are the two ways, some of the two ways that AI uses the web today. Structured capability access and interface level interaction. As you can also show it move further. Now, the big question here, why are we making AI to behave like humans when it can behave like artificial intelligence? The web was never designed for AI, right? There was always a human in the loop. We use websites, layouts, the boxes, the imports, forms. All these things were created for humans, not for machines or AI to interact with. While, while so enter MCP. So MCP, thanks to Danny, he clarified MCP to you. So that I don't waste more time on that. So MCP is LLM empowered with functions and tool calling capabilities. It exposes actions. It doesn't show us interfaces. It just exposes some tools or functions that the large language models can call and access. So, this is the main concept that this talk is about. Software engineering analysts find the problem with AI agents trying to interact with the site, but it's taking a lot of time, right? It's taking a screenshot, it's sending that screenshot to another model, visual model, and then it tries to break it down. There are a lot of tokens wasted in this process. There is lot of energy and money that has been getting lost in this process of AI agents trying to mimic the human behavior. So what he did is he created a standard WebMCP for browsers, and the W3 consortium, World Web Consortium, saw this and they, with him, people from Google and Microsoft, they created a standard for using the MCP into our browsers, and they created it as called it as WebMCP, which is available for early preview. You can download the Chrome beta version and you can try to access how this WebMCP works. So why do we need WebMCP? It again comes to the basic problem of AI trying to interpret the UI, trying to take screenshots or parse our HTML and lot of token consumption and energy wasting and time waste going on in that. It lacks a structured way to access the web. So that's why WebMCP came into picture. So WebMCP provides you with discoverable tools that your AI agents can access. Tools in the sense, for example, let's consider I have a website. I have a flight booking website, right? So in that website, what the AI agent did, it goes to the website, it filled my form from to date, and then it clicked on the search button. It takes to another page, and there it takes a screenshot and tries to find the best flight. So what if the agent can come to my site? I will have a set of functions that the agent can call. It can call a function called find flights with parameters like from, to, and date. And then I can give a structured response to the AI agent, and based on that response, it can select a flight, and then it give me that flight as data, and then I can expose another function where it can book the flight for me. So this is the concept of WebMCP. MCP was for the servers that can expose itself as tools for the AI agents. WebMCP is for browsers, majorly the front-end websites to expose themselves as functions that agents can call, so that they don't need to take a screenshot, they don't need to pass some HTML, they don't need our DOM, anything. Structured functions that the agents can call and interact with our site. There are two ways the WebMCP standard is now available. One is declarative API. So it's nothing but HTML form. We have the forms, right? Form elements. In that we can declare some attributes like tool name, tool description. So this is declared high level in the form. You can see in this example, I have given a tool name as a reserve table and the tool description as reserve your table at the restaurant. And then it has some labels and inputs, just a normal form, but with added attributes. And in the input, I also added description, tool parameter description as number of days, and another as reservation date. So what happens behind the scenes? This is just a normal form, but with the help of these attributes that I have declared to the form, the HTML form, the browser WebMCP standard in our browser, it converts that into a JSON schema. So once it converts that into a JSON schema, the agents that comes to our site can access this schema. It will be given this information. So these are the tools I have. This is the name of the tool. This is the description. This is the input schema. So based on that, the AI agents can decide which tool it needs to access, what are the inputs that are needed for that tool to be invoked. And one important thing here is our functions will be exposed. Another API is imperative API. The difference between declarative and imperative API is declarative API was introduced for forms, HTML forms as attributes. We don't have much control over here. If you want control to our side, control the developer in, then we need JavaScript. So that's why the imperative API was introduced. So using this imperative API, we can declare and register tools to our site. So this navigated or model context. So this is the one using which we can register our tool. If you go and search in the normal browser, this navigated or model context would be available. So it is introduced in only the Chrome beta form now. So this is a simple code snippet here. So what I declared is navigated or model context or register tool. So register tool is an object. I can also set an array of objects if needed. So I have set only one. So it says search page is the name and description and parameters. And then the handler over here is the callback function that the WebMCP will invoke when the AI agent calls this function. So this is code level. The developers we wrote, it will be in our JavaScript. But all these details won't be exposed to the AI agents. The AI agents can only access the JSON schema. From here, the name, description, and the parameters will be extracted, whereas the handler callback function will be kept locally into our browser. So when the AI agent wants to invoke the function, it can access it by the name. It can tell to the WebMCP who want to call the search gets function with these parameters, and then that WebMCP comes to our code and calls this function. So this handler function will never be exposed to the AI agent or to the agent in the cloud or any other resources. So it's just a small demo. Is this ready? Okay, start here on the common process because it needs more context from us.
Custom message for getting the
It
feedback.
is the required information or this. So if we give this information more, it will proceed. Okay, so as you see, so this is the code for registering our tool MCP. The register tool. Okay, let me show you live demo. So this is a Chrome version of beta I have installed. So using this and a Chrome extension called WebMCP Model Context Tool Inspector, I can find out what are the tools available in my site. So this is one of the example demo sites I have loaded from Google Chrome Labs. So over here in the corner, if you can see, these are defensive tools. So description, input, schema, name. These are the tools. So this is from the JavaScript code we wrote. This extension extracts these details. So what is the description of the tool name? The tool name is there. What is the description and what is the input schema to call that function?
What would you like?
So it has tools like set pizza size, share pizza, set pizza size, manage. I just copy it as a JSON.
எனக்கே வேணும். ஆமா.
So this is nothing but an array of objects. An array that has multiple objects. Each object is a tool. As you see, we have the name here, set pizza size, the description of what that function does, and an input schema. So input schema has properties which we need to send to invoke that function. It has size, and we have clearly defined it is a string, and what are the input that it can take, and this is a description for that property. And then we have another property called number of persons. It's a type number and a description. So this is what sent to the AI agents. We won't be sending them our functions. Okay. So what this extension basically does is it mimics the behavior of an AI agent, so that you can directly interact with the site and see what the agent will do if it comes to our site. I already set the Gemini API token, so no need to set that. If you are going to try this for the first time, you need to set the Gemini API token. It automatically loads a prompt for me. So this is the user prompt. For example, I set a prompt here. Like, similar to that, you can set a prompt here. Gemini itself gave me a prompt to access. And here you can see the set of tools that are available. And we can also send the input as JSON.
We can ask direct feedback also.
Okay, it has user prompt as well, like a large piece of okay, please send.
Sure. Just wanted to give you a heads up.
I'm sorry, maybe a bit I need to stop sharing my screen so that I can use the API.
அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணிடலாம் ஆஃப்டர் குரூப் ஃபோட்டோன்னு சொல்லிடலாம் டிஸ்ட்ரிபியூட்டர் கிளம்பிடுவாங்க
வரவே இல்லாமல் கஷ்டப்படுறாங்க அதுக்காக சொல்கிறோம் வந்துருக்குன்னா நம்ம தைரியமாக டைமிங் ஏற்றலாம் நம்ம வந்து
போஸ்ட் குரூப் ஃபோட்டோ அண்ட் ஃபோட்டோ நீங்கள்
ரெஃப்ரெஷ்மெண்ட்
ஸோ தட் ஐடியா
ஏரியா உங்களுக்கு ஏரியாஸ் என்னன்னா ஐ ஹேவ் ஜெனரலைஸ்ட் ஃபேஸ் ரேட்ஸ்
ஓகே டைம் ஃபீட்பேக் குட் டைம் ஆகும் சூப்பர் முடிச்சிட்டாரா
Okay, logging another account and it says I can create visa for 3, make it classic style. So this is the basic prompt you will be giving to the agent. You can also can be from the cloud or you can be from any agent that you can access your site. This is the user prompt. It's called the set pizza size.
அதை பண்ணலான்னு சொல்லி விட்டோம் அதுக்குள்ள
Right here.
கீழே உடச்சிட்டாங்க
I didn't touch the screen. I didn't do anything. I just gave a prompt with the API key.
போரூர்ல ஒரு சாம்சங் இருக்கு
Let's remove the toppings. I don't like the toppings.
ஆனா அது பிரச்சனை இல்லை டிஸ்பிளேக்கு கரெக்டா ஓகே. ஆனா இவள்து அதான் சொல்றாங்க, இவளுக்கு கீழே போயிடுச்சு கம்ப்ளீட்டா. அதனால தான் 28,000 அவ அதாவது டச்சூட் பார்த்து பார்த்து பண்ணுவாங்க.
remove all the mushrooms from the
நான்
visa.
சொன்னல கோமதி நானே சொன்னேன், அவளை மூடவே
I
மாட்டேன்.
just interacted with the input arguments here.
மூடணும்னா
This is similar to a prompt that we will be giving. I can show you more good example. So this is your prompt. So usually as a user, if you go to a site, what you will do? You will go and enter the new name, phone number, date, time, and everything, right? Instead of that, if you give a prompt, the agent will take everything and it will fill the form for you. See, the prompt automatically appears for me in the user prompt area. I'm just going to give it.
phone repairs problem.
Can you see the details are automatically filled for me? It just waits for me to interact and request the reservation. Before taking the step, we will ask you for the permission. So this is a guardrail that we can set in the code level in WebMCP.
ஆனா வந்து கன்வே பண்ணணும் இல்ல.
There are multiple of these examples that are available in online. You can check. I can share those links after the talk. So let's see the right. This is how the agent will interact. You just give a prompt, it takes from the inputs from the prompt, and then it goes and does whatever a human will do. It doesn't need to take screenshots, doesn't need to pass the doc, it just needs a prompt. It will call the functions that the site exposes, front-end site exposes, and with that it can interact with any site. So that's a quick demo. So this unlocks a lot of opportunities for us as developers, mostly as front-end developers. The MCP now came to front-end, so you can make your site AI ready. You know, you don't need to waste a lot of tokens. Now you can go and implement this as a side project. Once this WebMCP comes to the main Chrome, from the beta to the original version, we can start using that. We can also tell your organization that our site is AI ready. So give me a high go.
Actually, we have announcements.
That's from my end. Any questions?
Can we combine WebMCP with scaling and automation testing? Like, I'm just thinking out loud.
Yeah, the possibilities are limitless with this. What we usually get with Selenium is we used to write code. In the code level, we will say go to this page, go to that, and do these actions. All these can be converted into a prompt now.
Yeah.
You don't need to write that much of codes.
Yeah, so we don't need to create an Excel file and then convert that into a CSV, send it to a Python script and then run. Instead, now we just have that part of the string and
yeah. Yeah. To enable this, you need to, your site needs to have these functions.
Yeah. Got it.
Any more questions? Any doubts? Like any queries? Anyone else? Pause the demo. We can follow me on LinkedIn. We can connect. If you have any questions, also we can connect after this. Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
So with this, we have two community announcements. First, we have Prime Members team over here to share about their insights.
Am I audible to well, I introduce myself. My name is Ganesh. He is Yogesh. We are from Tanjavur. We are planning to start our own community for business people, especially for our first generation founders. So, a lot of people have a talented people have amazing ideas, but that idea turning into a company is a tough one, and it's not easy. And it's a completely different journey. So that we are starting our community. The name is Playmovers. In our first we started in our Tanjavur. So, so building a startup company is not an easy thing. Like they are doing the things in a what path. அவங்க எல்லாத்தையும் எல்லாருமே தனியாக தான் செய்வோம் and they start in a zero. The mindset will be zero and the credibility will be zero, guidance will be zero. அவங்க ஒரு தனியான பாத்துல தான் அலோனா போக வேண்டியதா இருக்கும். So we observing that gap to fill that and we are the bridge for that. And so the reality, let's talk about the reality. Like the biggest problem வந்து என்னன்னா ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஃபவுண்டர்ல இருந்து ஒரு ஈஸியா ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் அப் ஓனர்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு கைடன்ஸ் கிடைக்காது. அவங்க ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க, அவங்களுக்கான ஒரு கைடன்ஸ் கொடுக்கறதோ ஒரு மென்டார்ஷிப் கொடுக்கறதோ அவங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா கிடைக்கிறது இல்லை. ஸோ தட் சாரி ரொம்ப ஸ்லோடா இருக்கணும் ஸ்லோடா. ரியல் ப்ராப்ளம் என்னன்னா வந்து எல்லாமே ஃபர்ஸ்ட்ல ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றாரு. லைக் இந்த ப்ராப்ளம் என்னன்னா அவங்க ஃபண்டிங் இல்லாம இருக்கிறதோ இல்ல ஒரு டேலண்ட் இல்லாமோ இல்ல ஒரு ஐடியா இல்லாமோ இருக்கிறது இல்லை. The biggest problem வந்து not an right network and mentorship model. So we that தான் வந்து இந்த பிரைமோர் வந்து ஒரு கம்யூனிட்டி ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்றது. And we felt that இந்த விஷயம் வந்து சேஞ்ச் ஆகுங்க அப்படின்னு. So that's exactly why we started the Brainmovers. And that's என்னோட கோர் என்னன்னா ஈஸியா இந்த Brainmovers வந்து எதை வச்சு விரிவான கோர் பில்ட் பண்ணோம்னா founders grow faster when they grow together. So இதை வச்சு தான் நான் வந்து ஆரம்பிச்சது. And then the vision and the planning now வந்து the Yogesh partner and he will explain that.
இதோட விஷயம் என்னன்னா இப்போ வந்துட்டு ஒரு ஸ்டார்ட் அப் டிசைனர்ஸ் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்றாங்கன்னா ஆக்சுவலாக அவங்க வந்து தனியாக க்ரோ ஆகணும் இல்லையா? தனியாக க்ரோ ஆகணும்னா நிறைய வந்து ஸ்ட்ரகிள்ஸ்லாம் ஃபேஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. இப்போ அதே வந்துட்டு ஒரு எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ் இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா ஆக்சுவலாக அவங்களோட எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸை வந்து இந்த ஃப்ரேம்வொர்க் கம்யூனிட்டி ஷேர் பண்ணும்போது இப்போ அவங்க 1 year ஸ்ட்ரகிள் பண்ணி ஒரு பிஸ்னஸ் ஸ்டார்ட் அப் பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்னா இப்போ வந்து ஒரு 6 months வந்துட்டு அதை வந்து கம்ப்ளீட்டாக ஃபில் பண்ணி முடிக்கணும்.
almost யாருக்காக அப்படின்னு ஜென்ரேஷன் ஃபவுண்டர்ஸ்க்காண்டி வந்து இதை மேக் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். ஆக்சுவலாக இந்த கம்யூனிட்டியில் என்னென்ன பண்ண போகிறோம்னா மந்த்லி ஒரு மீட்டப் மாதிரி, இது வந்து ஒரு ஒரு மென்டர்ஷிப் மாதிரி, லெக்சராக இல்லாமல் மோட்டிவேஷன் ஸ்பீக்கர் மட்டும் இல்லாமல் ஆக்சுவலாக அவங்களோட ரியல் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸை வந்து இங்கே ஷேர் பண்ணுற மாதிரி வந்து பிளான் பண்ணியிருக்கோம். இதில் வந்துட்டு அவங்களோட சக்ஸஸ் மட்டும் அவங்களோட ஃபெயிலியர்ஸ், ஃபினான்ஷியலாக என்னென்ன ப்ராப்ளம் ஃபேஸ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, தென் அவங்களோட ஸ்டார்ட் அப்பில் ஹையரிங் பண்ணுறதுல என்னென்ன மிஸ்டேக்ஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு ஷேர் பண்ணுறது. ஆக்சுவலாக இப்போ ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறவங்களுக்கு வந்து அந்த எப்படி எல்லாம் வந்துட்டு நீங்கள் வந்து சால்வ் பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கிற மாதிரி ஒரு ஐடியாஸ் வேணும்.
And we are in a starting stage. So the website and the other official works are going on, and soon it will be completed. அது வரைக்கும் நான் வந்து இன்ஸ்டாகிராம்லாம் பேஜ் ஓப்பன் பண்ணிருக்கோம், and we will be updating soon. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And we have one more community announcement from Aravind for D3 community. Meanwhile, if you have any questions to our speakers, you can use this opportunity. We have some time in between because we cut short through after the sessions since we have no time. If you have any questions to the speakers, you can ask now. They are available here. Any questions? So, I think post this one.
Hello everyone. I am Arvind Kumar. I am the founder and organizer of JSLovers Chennai community. It's a community for AI and full stack developers. So if you are into front end, back end, or full stack, and if you want to upskill yourself in AI and latest trends in AI, you should be definitely part of JSLovers Chennai. Our upcoming event is going to happen on March 28th. So I would like to have you all there. You can scan this QR code to register. The registration is open now. Yeah, here is you. You can enroll yourself for the event.
So I hope you have scanned it. See you all on March 28th. Thank you.
Thank you, Akhil. Okay. So with this, we have the facilitation for our speakers and the prize winners. So I request Vaikash around here. I just want him to facilitate our speakers. He's not there. Fine. Okay. So I request JP to facilitate our speakers event. I also request JP to facilitate Muthu. Thank you. I request Vaikash to facilitate Dani Akash. I request Sayed to facilitate Vignesh. Thank you. So I request Shweta, Suyash and Harish. So to facilitate the icebreaker winners. So Shweta, please facilitate the first prize winner, Google right? Yeah. And Harish to facilitate the second prize winner, Danish. Danish, yeah. And Suyash to facilitate the third prize winner, Mitu. Yeah. So we also have another one segment where we pick two names in the crowd and have two prizes. So we just have the list from the Luma and we'll upload and we're going to pick two random names. Srikaran 017. Is he present? No? Satya Prabhu. Surya Bill 99. No. Sudarshan Street 01. I request Vaikash to give. So the next person. Vidya Raji 10 Gmail. Vidya Raji, no. Shakti, Satyavati, the last chance. If it's not there, I'm going to take it. Santosh, no. I don't want this, I don't want it. Kyle, sir? No. Karnika? So seriously, last try. Now we are going to just Google. No. Okay. So the gift is for me. Thank you. You want to still try? Not both. Okay. Then try. I thought you guys get both. No. Next. Last minute, Arun, Raj, Aruna. Sit you. Okay, Aruna, come. I request Vaikash to share a few notes before ending the session.
All right, thanks team for such a wonderful participation. I know it's been a long time, but I haven't seen anybody leaving thus far, which means that how engaging this whole session has been, right? And I must appreciate each and every one of you again for coming again on a Saturday afternoon, spending the time on tech events. This is something that I've never seen before. Right, so thank you very much once again, and I must appreciate and thank the JSLovers team. I would request one round of applause for them, for all the dedication and the passion that they have. It's not easy to do their work and run this at the same time, and then all these multiple locations. So hats up to you guys. Yeah, and again, thanks for the opportunity for us to sponsor this event, and it's been a pleasure working with you all. Right, so thank you very much once again.
So this is our LinkedIn. Okay, hopefully it works. We just generated. So maybe you can check that. Peer Islands is our LinkedIn page. And then we also do something called 25 Days of AI. Okay, so this is an initiative within the company. And it's mostly done by junior engineers or freshers who are joining our company. They actually take a topic on AI or whatever is latest technique that's available in the area, and then they try to solve a business problem. Okay, so this complete detail about what they are doing, how they did it, okay, demo of that will all be available in 25 Days of AI, and we usually post that in our LinkedIn pages. Okay, you can go follow our page, and then you can also track the 25 Days of AI, for example, if there is a need. Okay, and then also if you guys, if any one of you are interested, I think there was a request to also say this, so we are saying. So in case if any one of you are interested in joining Pera Labs, okay, I'll make sure the HR team is available here. And you can also send your profile to talent acquisition at perailands.io. Okay. So we generally look for 1% of the talent. Okay, meaning you have to be a full stack engineer. Okay, it's not like a Java or backend or something like that. You have to be a full stack engineer, and then preferably in the React world. Okay, so React is something that we are actively hiring for now. Okay, so if you are a React with backend and other capabilities, then you can forward the profile to talent acquisition at clearislands.io. Okay, so that is our email ID for talent acquisition. Okay, so thanks once again, Ricky.
Thanks, Abhay. I'll take one last moment, right, to wish all the wonderful women here a very happy Women's Day in advance. Right, this is on behalf of Fair Islands, and for the men who are here, convey our wishes to all the women in your life. Right, they are very important to all of us. Right, thank you very much.
Vaikash. thanks for wishing us on Women's Day in advance. And yeah, so the last segment is like my favorite one because to get feedback in person from you all, because it's a work of our team for almost 2+ weeks. So we'll be very happy to get to know what you feel. It need not to be only positive. We obviously need negative feedback so that we can just correct it the next time. So anyone volunteering here to share the feedback in person. Also, we will send a mail through Luma. I think it would trigger by around 6 p.m. So you can share your feedback in the mail as well. But I'll be very happy to have you in person. Someone to share how the event went. Maybe someone who attended the session first. I'll be happy to know because you right. Yeah, because this was the first event and you have expected something. So how was it?
This is actually my first tech event, not JSLovers in particular. It's my first tech event, and I expected to know about this AI-driven development, come to know something about it. So I think I got some information from it. So very informative and good to. Thank you. Yeah, this is my first tech event. I think I will be like boring with speaking AI, devoting English. But some person, Akash, he gives a lot of information in FCD. It's very helpful for me because in my role, I need to work on AI things with cloud. So many things I need to do. That helps still like things not a lot. Thank you for that. But then I think I learned so many things. It's a very good. So good to catch up with next meetup. Thank you.
So, this is my first time in JSLovers, and I have attended other community meetings and all other things, but this is very friendly and more interactive. Generally, people come and give some lectures or give some demos and then they are explaining things. But here I feel that it's not that there is very much gap between the facilitators and people who are attending. But here it was a very close circle and anyone can interact. It was very nice and it's a wonderful thing. Okay, guys, this is going to be the last presentation. Just I think just 2 to 3 minutes. Okay. So for people who are first time to JSO session or any tech session, so we would like to share who we are, and there are people who already know who we are. Okay, so JSO session, this is our last meetup photo. Okay, and you can also scan this QR and there is a scanning tool to follow us for more updates. Okay, so who we are. So this is a non-profit tech community by the developers for the developers. So we've been working in all 5 cities, so Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, and Gurgaon, and all those. So we have also hosted like now 6,000 plus JS calls on meetup.com, and we have hosted 500 plus sessions so far. And this is our founder, Neha Sharma. So she founded it 10 years back in Delhi. She's currently works as an architect in UK. So she still runs the show. And yeah, so this is our 9th meetup. So you see, you would have seen in Luma. This is our 9th meetup. So we have 1,000 plus attendees so far and 20 plus speakers. And we also had a flagship event, 10th anniversary celebration at 4. That was 1 year back, right? Yeah. And this is our wonderful community partners. So GDG, CDJS, the Econ, Post United, and React Chennai here. And we have another. So and this is our voluntary team, and there are a few people who missed it today because of some personal reasons, but they'll join us in the next upcoming events. So apart from that, I thank you for you all to join this event during a Saturday. I always say this, so many people usually avoid, like they try to go outside, but you spent your valuable 3 to 4 hours to spend with us to share your knowledge and network. So that is great. And we'd also like to thank here as our sponsor team, and as I said, our wonderful sponsor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, JP. A final thank you note from me to my volunteering team, to everyone here who is present, and special thanks to Pure Finance team as well. So you are all being here with us, actively participating and interacting with the people. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. So we'll have a big togethership here, and after that, small refreshments have been arranged. You can collect it after taking pictures, please. And thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. We have few more refreshments on the way, so meanwhile we can take pictures. I think by that time it will arrive. And also we have people around for networking, so you can network and wait by the time it arrives.
anything that I just do that same thing again, please. On the video, that's why, please. Hope everyone is here. And the heart is also heart. Everyone just keep that heart, that's it. I will, someone who said everyone has that heart. I forgot the clip, sorry.
So the refreshments have been arrived. You can collect your refreshments. Pizza. Saya to WhatsApp screen television. People please share, post about our event. We have a stand over there. So do click pics and please share your feedback as well.